You've probably heard that advice saying investing in yourself is one of the best investments you can make. No one ever says what these investments should be. Like, there are so many different ways you can invest in yourselves, but which way can actually make you more income? In this video, I'll be going over the investments I made in myself that did work for me and also the ones that didn't. The first one I think is pretty unconventional, especially for people my age, but it's life coaching. I can't stress how much I've gained from life coaching. For me, I found life coaching a lot more beneficial than therapy. And that's because life coaching did for me what therapy did and then some. Therapy really helps you to kind of clear your thoughts, manage your emotion. It gives you like a third party that's not involved in your day-to-day to be that sounding board as to whether the way you're processing things is healthy or not. But still, life coaching to help me in the way that when I have thought through my emotions, when I have processed all my trauma and healed, now what do I want to create for myself moving forward? And when I work out what I want to create for myself moving forward, how do I become that person? How do I develop my character? How do I develop the woman I'm actually being? But I understand people's skepticism when it comes to life coaching. I understand people's skepticism when it comes to coaching, full stop. However, there are people out there that are gaining so much from these things. I just think it's really worth like looking into, not completely ruling it out. A lot of life coaches will probably offer some sort of free way to work with them, whether that's through like a workshop or following their content and really making sure that your morals align. That's how I really connected with the coach I chose, whose details I will link below. Her name is Coach Laura Lyles. And the reason why life coaching helped my income is because you've probably heard of the Be Do Have model. That being of who I needed to be to create the business I was trying to create at the time. That is what I really was able to delve into. And especially if you have a life coaching situation where you're able to ask one-on-one questions, they're going to be able to see your bottlenecks, the way you're operating, whether that's through your routine, your habits, your mindset. They're just things that we think and they're so habitual that we just don't even challenge it. Secondly is another coaching program, which is my ads course, but the fundamental part of it is not necessarily the course, but I will link that course below. It's called Social Sales Lab. This is how I learned Facebook ads. But what it did expose me to was the impact of having a high income skill. Thing about taking the next best step, you just don't know the door that's going to open for you in the future. When I left my job, I was very much on the fence with my business and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. What I knew is that I would not suffer because I was like, I know how to run ads. So many people don't know how to run ads, but they need to know how to run ads. So I knew that I would always be okay. There are a whole bunch of high income skills for people to choose from. I did a whole dedicated YouTube video on the best high income skills right now. Once you're making other people money, you will make money. Once you're saving other people money, you will make money. Once you're solving people's problems, you will make money. So you just need to find the skills that help to solve the problems that are the most expensive, whether that's in time or money. There's going to be a high income skill out there for every one of you. So even if you don't have the money to invest in a course, I personally know my learning style. I need to ask questions. But if you're someone who can put your head down and really dig down into information, carve it out, be proactive, find practical experience to really work on the skill, you can learn a high income skill with YouTube and YouTube alone. Because even with the course, I supplemented a lot of the knowledge that I ended up using with YouTube videos. The third investment I made was a time investment, and it was the amount of intentional time I took to learn how to manage my mind. And this is an ongoing journey. I want to say manage my mind, I literally just mean the ability to not be identified and controlled by my emotions and my thoughts, because that is something that personally held me back and I know can hold a lot of people back. I learned this and I still am learning this from a biblical perspective, from a scientific neuroscience perspective, from a psychological perspective. I'm currently studying NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and it's about how we speak to ourselves. I want to tell you, I don't take this stuff lightly because we are controlled by our mind. Like 90% of what we do is habitual. Like 90% of our thoughts are habitual. Really intentionally being a good steward of your thoughts, because that's going to create your reality. That is all mind work. That is all thought work. That isn't widely spoken about. And that's why I think for me, when I really learn how to change my internal dialogue, the internal dialogue that talks you out of doing what you know you need to do, the internal dialogue that tells you you're not good enough, one that tells you to like stop what you're doing because this isn't safe just because it's something out of your comfort zone. That's what I had to work on controlling. That's what I had to pay really dedicated intentional time, and life coaching did come into this actually, so it was quite paid as well. Some books that really help with this as well is Loving What Is by Byron Katie, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, Outwitting the Devil, The Chimp Paradox. These are all some amazing books that really help with this. Finding content creators that have the mindset of who you're trying to become, getting really clear on who you need to become to do what you need to do to have what you want to have. Finding pastors that speak about this stuff. For me, that was a really big part in my faith journeys, when I could find pastors and preachers that actually speak about this side of things. Dr. Miles Monroe, he speaks a lot about the soul, the subconscious mind, your thoughts, like managing your thoughts, because it's such a pivotal part, even in your spiritual journey. You're trying to create a business, you're trying to thrive in your career, you're trying to learn a new skill. You need to master your thoughts. You need to unlearn the limiting beliefs that have currently held you back to the point where you are. Also, going to a luxury gym or a convenient gym, so paying a bit extra for a gym or workout or health club that makes it easier for you to work out. Being healthy will increase your income. All these cliche quotes we hear, there's a reason why it's cliche. It's because people say it so much. The reason why people say it so much, guess, health really is wealth. At first, I went to a gym that was literally walking distance from my house. It was very overpriced for what it was. Like, it had no amenities. It was given nothing, but I still paid it because it made me really consistent, knowing that I didn't have to, at this point I wasn't even driving, so I didn't have to get a bus or I didn't have to get public transport. Now that I drive, I go to a health club, and because that health club has a little spa, I'm able to work from there and all this other stuff. Surprise, surprise, I now love going to the gym. I'm so consistent with the gym because I've made it an experience that is a lot more inviting, and you just pay a monthly reoccurring fixed amount, and then you can use credits against different classes, and then also where you work from. I really do believe, and I'm learning a lot more about like the tangible scientific evidence why it works so much, but when you change your environment, especially as a creative, we are all creatives, by the way. You might not identify as one yet, but we are all creative. Whatever your form of creativity is, sometimes you need that change of environment to really get your juices flowing. You will find that you will create things that you didn't create before. You will find that you might be able to tap into a work ethic that you weren't able to tap into when you're just working in your usual office or your usual cafe. I've also done a workcation. I'm gonna try to make this an annual thing where I literally went abroad to work. I went by myself. I went to Lanzarote, which is an island just off Spain, for a couple of weeks, and I worked. My goodness, I got a lot of work done. I got a lot of work done, but it was really nice to switch up and just really pour into myself in that time. Like, it was just a really powerful time. But I think the core of all these different things is just that changing your environment is going to be able to tap into a new type of creativity that will 100% directly impact your income if you're intentional about what you're working on when you go to those places. Now, all the other things that didn't work for me. When I say I spent on courses, in the year of 2021 alone, I spent over £20,000 on courses and learning. A lot of them had information that I learned and I just didn't need it. It wasn't useful to me. I didn't use it. But what I need to tell you is that it literally only takes one course. It only takes one good course to completely change your life. And then in the grand scheme of things, what does that money really mean? If it was just like all the different failures that you needed to get you to the one that actually was the one for you, I can apply the exact same thing to time. We think we've wasted all this time, It's just reframing the way you look at it as to getting you closer to the one that does change your life. All those failed businesses you've tried, all those failed projects, that took you closer to understanding who you are, what you enjoy, what you're meant to be doing on this earth, what your place on this earth is. It's not a waste. It's a very natural feeling to feel like it is a waste. It can definitely burn at times, but in the grand scheme of things, don't dwell on it being a waste, because A, it's not productive, but B, it genuinely has gotten you closer to understanding who you really are and what you're meant to be doing. But also from that, it really taught me the power and importance of what I like to call digital discernment. On this internet, there is so much advice, so many things saying this is the thing you need, this is the one, this is the course, this is the business model, this is the idea that you should be working on. You need personal discernment, first of all, to know what it is you truly do need, and then you just take the content that you need to fill in those gaps and then ignore and block out anything that's not that. Shiny object syndrome and lack of discernment to me are exactly the same thing. But even when you do know the gaps you need to fill, not every course is going to be good. Digital discernment is also being able to pick a good course, being able to pick a good learning provider. If you have a business idea that you're not sure if you want to do, and you're just like, I really want to give this course a try to see if I want it, go on something like Udemy or Skillshare first. If you do really want to work with a specific person, because those Skillshare ones probably won't come with the ability to ask questions. If you know you need that sort of access, make sure you vetted the person. Like, what have they really achieved? What are their student testimonials? Can you reach out to anyone who's done the course? What do you vibe with them? Sometimes it's just like, it's an energy thing. Like, you can listen to someone and just see if someone's being authentic, someone's really meaning this from their heart. Also, paying for a members club. I pay, and I still pay, subscription to a very popular members club here. I thought I was going to be like all up in my networking bag, get all these opportunities, really plug into the community, and I'm not doing it. But that doesn't mean it's not going to work. It just means that something I learned from coaching, there are 3 things that you have to create what you want to create. That is time, money, and people. Members Club is really great if you're someone who can lean into the people side of things. I'm an introvert. Definitely don't want that to hold me back to the point where I don't want to speak to people, because there was a point where I was getting to that and I'm just like, no, that's not conducive with the life I'm trying to create. That's not conducive to the person I'm trying to be. However, it's not my natural skill set. To get the opportunities I want to get, a lot of times I will just use time or money to open those doors rather than people, because that's just what works best for me. The reason why I still pay it is because, like I said, I don't want to just fully wipe myself off from the opportunity that can come from knowing people, and I also am able to work from there sometimes. I get to go to some events here and there, but in terms of directly impacting my income, it hasn't. In fact, it's just reduced it. We'll watch this space because I hope that might change in the future. And now the most expensive thing that I invested in myself did not make as big of an impact on my income as I hoped was university. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, but university, I have a lot of opinions of. I'm not against, but in terms of the mindset that I had, at least growing up, like, this is going to be the best way for me to sort of change my future, set myself up, set my family up. University, the school system, everything, it very much leads you to the full-time permanent employee, get a job, climb the ladder type of vibe. I realized the other day that I've literally, at this point, I've done every type of employment I think that is out there. Apart from unemployment, I've done full-time, I've done part-time, I've done 0 hours, I've done contract, I've done freelance, I've been self-employed, I've been a full-time business owner. Like, I've done it all. And the ones that made me the most money were not connected to university. I was able to get a graduate job off the back of being in uni. I worked in a massive bank, a massive organization, and a lot of the people there didn't go to uni. A lot of the people there didn't get in from being in uni. It's just about playing the game. This whole world, this whole life, the corporate world especially, is a game. There are different ways to play it, and they don't all include uni. Especially now, as less and less people are going to uni, there are so many more avenues to get into. Even those same organizations are giving you avenues to get in without going to uni. We live and we learn. Like I said, no regrets. God is a God of redirection and recalibration. So even if you kind of go off path, ultimately he will make sure you're still on track as long as you stay connected to him. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.